welcome to our Christmas special of Tackle Talk in association with our friends at the Insurance Emporium. As always, 5 brand new items of tackle that you simply need to look at this week. Well, Dan, we are very, very festive for the festive season, mate.
You made me do it. I'm not a fan of this, you know. I'm very much a sit down with a beer and just... You're a Christmas jumper guy, aren't you? That's what you wear.
All I'm going to say, guys, I bought one prop and it was this. Dan's brought the rest, so that is where we'll leave it. But enough of that fluff. Come on, you've got the 3 items. I've got 2. What have we got first up?
Well, first off, we've got to mention, I'm not sat on my normal seat box. I'm actually sat on the Guru feeder chair, but this is one of my favourites. I'm actually going to leave that till last. So to start off with, let's start off with an accessory that can go on the feeder chair. This is Preston's new Ventalite hoodie. They come in 3 different sizes. This is actually the smallest, which, to be fair, is also one of my favourites.
Yeah.
You know, if you're kind of the pleasure angler or maybe the guy who, you know, doesn't carry tons and tons of kit, just wants something small and compact, this is the one. So we've got a great big sliding single clamp on there.
Yeah.
It will fit 36mm legs. So you can see by the size of the clamp, it clamps on hard
Solid.
for your legs, so you don't need a support arm.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning, if you buy one of the larger sized ones, they have 2 clamps to go on 2 legs, and even an extra kind of clamps you can go on the far end to put on support legs or anything like that. But this smaller one, you don't need any of that. Sorry, doing the wrong piece there. But yeah, the little clip there, so you can slide it in whatever position you want.
Adjustable.
If it's raining, up comes the hood.
Or hot.
Yes.
Dare I say it in sub-zero temperatures.
Yeah, I must say they've probably designed that for use in Europe because it just seems to be permanent rain over here. But allegedly, it will keep your bait cool in the sun as well. What I do like is we've gone away from a lot of hooded side trays in the past. I've always got like a vent down the side, so you get, you know, that proper British rain that comes in from a ridiculous angle. Everything gets wet from the side. So no, you've got full coverage all the way over. And if you don't want to use the hood or want to take it off for some reason, or you don't need it, it is removable. So it does mean you can buy this tray on its own. You can buy it with the hood. And if ever you wear the hood out or damage it, or eventually after years of use it loses its waterproofing, you can buy another hood that will just clip straight on like that.
Those trays, I use the old version of those, and they are solid as a rock. You can pile them up. Them clamps are absolutely bulletproof. I've piled all sorts on it, and they don't go in there. And this is an improved version, so I can imagine it's even stronger.
Yeah, very similar design to the old clamps, but it's even bigger, even thicker. So, yeah.
Sounds like
really
a test.
nice product.
Sounds like a test for the future. We have to load it up and see what happens. But nice.
Next time it chucks it down with rain, I'll let you know how it performs. But yeah, this is the smallest one of the range, and you should be able to pick it up for around about the £80 mark I've seen them for sale for.
Nice. And the way you've just said that, mate, that doesn't sound like that's going back to Preston. But anyway, enough about that. On to me next. So
here is a message from our sponsors, the Insurance Emporium. Having tackle stolen is one of the worst experiences for an angler. The Insurance Emporium offers specialist fishing insurance. Their policies have fixed pricing and can cover up to £15,000 for loss, theft or accidental damage of your tackle. Head over to theinsuranceemporium.co.uk and get up to 30% off fishing insurance. This includes a special 5% discount on your policy with promo code WHOPPER99. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
I am going into real world, and we were discussing that I feel like the price of decent reels, it's just getting higher and higher and higher. You're having to spend quite a bit of money to get a decent reel. Well, you usually...
It's the same as everything. Everything's going up and up in price all the time. So
it is. But so we have got the Fast Cast Match from Garbolino.
Yeah.
40 quid. And having had a little wiggle with this, for 40 quid as an all-round reel, this feels brilliant. This feels like one of those sort of entry market, but it could even get you into mid-level. It's a really nice reel. A few features that I really like about it. One, shallow spool. These deep spools that have like 300 meters of line when I wanted to fish 30 meters, you don't need it. This takes 150 meters of line. I'm never going to get spooled on that. Most bulk spools are like 150 meters, straight on, no need for backing. You're never going to get spooled or anything like that. So that's one, nice and quick with that. We've got 2 clips, which as you said earlier, when you're talking about pinpoint accuracy, when you've done sticks and things like that, the clip that's nearest, you can use that one. And I just think it just keeps you ultra accurate, ultra tight. Or if you chuck into an island and stuff like that, when you're thinking, oh, the clip's around there, just give it a little bit more line. And if
you're ultra clumsy and you snap a clip for some reason, which I have seen done, there's a second one.
There's a second one
you can still use.
And for 40 quid, it feels super smooth. Nice clutch. Backwind facility, which I like. I'm old school. I like to backwind. Nice colours fitting in with the Garbolino scheme. I don't think for 40 quid you cannot go wrong.
Just transparent handle on that as well. That's
beautiful, isn't it?
Feature,
really is. And I think for that sort of money, you really can't go wrong with that. Over to you.
Right, number 2. Let's have a look at a Drennan Acolyte 13-foot medium feeder.
Okay.
Now this is a little bit of a niche rod. It's becoming a bit more uncommon in the market, like a general purpose 13-foot feeder rod. You know, it seems to be now, you buy your 9s, 10s, 11s and 12s, and then after that every rod out there becomes a distance rod.
Yeah.
So this, although obviously you're going to gain extra distance through the length, it's not a real powerful distance rod. It's got sensible size guides, it's got a reasonably light feel, and it comes with, a nice, light, readable set of tips.
First look, it looks like it's got some finesse to it, like you're saying. Not an absolute powerhouse broom handle, if you like.
So next you've got to ask, why do I want a 13-foot rod that is not a powerful rod? So you'll use that in situations where you want the extra length for reasons other than casting distance. Let's say you're fishing a river, you want to keep extra line off the flow, to give you better presentation, less bend on the tip. Maybe you've got steep banks behind you, so it's making it more difficult for you to cast. You're going to snag up. Maybe when you're netting fish, you've got reeds and a big drop in front of you. The longer rod gives you that extra bit of maneuverability. So rivers, maybe shallow lakes where you may want to cast quite a reasonable distance, but because it's shallow, you don't want to use too big a feeder. This is where this kind of rod really comes into its own.
That's interesting. I think maybe some people that are watching this have opened their eyes a little bit like that. It's a distance, length, isn't always about distance. That's a real eye-opener. And as you've said, it's a beautiful rod, that, because I'm used to seeing rods of this length and the butt sort of double the diameter of that. Really chunky animals. Like you said, built for chucking mega big feeders, but you said really nice tool, that. And just again, the usual sort of Drennan, the fittings look beautiful. Nice finish weave on the carbon, nice cork handle, what you come to expect from Drennan.
It will still cast heavier feeders. It's rated up to 70 gram, but it's not like an absolute distance whacker that you're really going to thrash. Like more like 120 gram, I think, or 100 grams, sort of the average for this kind of rod. So
nice,
a little bit of finesse.
Beautiful, and something a little bit different for the market. It's always nice to see.
Absolutely,
excellent, lovely. Well, I'm going to shrink that down. So I'd say this is more of a specimen product, which you and I, we spend loads of time after double figure barbs and £8 shove, don't we?
Speak for yourself.
Well, recently I've done a bit of chubbing, but anyway, so we've got a brand. No, it's not brand new. It's just a Headtorch that has a really good following from Sonik. It's Gizmo 250. Now, I think let's break it down. What you want from a Headtorch? You want something that's versatile in terms of the light that it can provide, in terms of how you can get that light out. So what I mean by that is, so it's on your head, it's adjustable, so you can do that with it. Simple as that when it's on your head. The amount of different light settings on there, I think we're on 5 or 6. Extremely bright, red light. Because I think if you're fishing on a river, let's say it's going dark and you hear a fish top or something, you might need the brightest light just to get a glance off the other side of the river. But then if you're just looking in your tackle box, you don't need the floodlights that you're going to get down at Old Trafford there, do you? It's so you can, and literally with a tap of a button, you can work your way through it. It's powered by its rechargeable battery inside on a USB-C to USB. So you could charge that through a power bank on the bank, but the battery in that will last you a full session anyway. If you charge it up to the max, it's got a good battery that'll last you hours on end. But if you are going for a few days, again, take your power bank, you can whack that on and do it. It's an adjustable strap there. Does all the things that you really want from a head.
Coming into winter and dark nights, and to be fair, I love my time on the bank. I'm always the last to pack up. Exactly. Usually you there saying, hurry up, Daniel, I'm trying to go.
Possibly.
Sometimes I could do with a head torch to actually see where on earth my gear is. So
and
up afterwards.
At 25 quid,
yeah,
you can't really complain at that. And as I said, the brightness settings on it are so variable. As I said, because it's, you know, as I've said, the light that you'll want varies from what job you're going to do. So yeah, definitely take a look at one of those. And it's also got the casing in it, so if you drop it, ends up on the concrete, ain't damage protected. So yeah, lovely little product. Finish us off for our Christmas special, Dan. What have we got? Well, we know what you've got because you already teased it at the beginning, but tell us more.
It is the Guru feeder chair. So let's start off on like the stuff you kind of expect. Obviously, it's got an adjustable back on it.
Yeah.
It's got 36mm legs, so it's lovely, strong and secure. It means that any 36mm accessory on the market, such as the Preston's side tray, will fit straight onto it. We've got little screw-on caps there, so if you've got like a butt rest or one of the Reaper socks or anything like that, you can screw them directly on it. The legs for storage, they just slide into little kind of elasticated straps on the underside.
Yeah.
It comes with a carry strap. It also comes with like another like handle in the middle of it as well, which is useful for picking it up and moving it around. But the thing that really sells it for me are actually the leg clamps here.
Brilliant.
So if I move Santa out the way, instead of having like screws, you imagine whenever you put your feeder chair together, you unscrew the clamp, you get your leg in, you screw the clamp back up. You make sure that when you pack it away, you screw the clamp back up tightly. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to lose the screw between sessions. This, no screws whatsoever. It's just a lever that you pull like that, releases the leg, slides up and down, push that down into position. So that, although you're already thinking, oh yeah, lever like that, is that secure? Trust me, that is mega secure. You won't believe how strong that is. And it is so much faster and easier than thumb screws.
Tackle Editor Mark had a seat box from another manufacturer with those clamps, similar clamps to those.
And Decathlon,
From Decathlon, that's right.
Yeah.
And they were rock solid. Mark was literally jumping on the box, and they were rock solid. And as you said, I think it's just the big thing is obviously the stability and how they hold, but also the ease of it. It's just clamp, done.
That's the thing that irritates me with a feeder chair, really. It's not just a case of chuck it on the ground and fold it. You do have to mess around with the legs a little bit. That just makes it that...
Of course it does.
Well, because I'm impatient.
Extra 30 seconds down.
It's a bad attribute for an angler, being impatient. But seriously, I am. Anything that saves a few seconds, I'm well for it.
And when I picked it up earlier, lightweight.
Yeah,
it's really lightweight. I think that you're not going to get much better than that. I just think modern feeder chairs these days, they come on, like I said, the 36mm legs that you used to on a seat box, the comfort of it, the fact that you can put your accessories on it. You know, it's come a long way from sitting in the deck chair, hasn't it? All those years ago, and having to lean down for your maggots and it collapsing. It just great bit of kit.
Memory foam, that expensive stuff that comes in your all singing, all dancing mattress, built into this as well. Forgot to even mention that.
Oh, I'll tell you
what, comfy.
That is awesome. And I tell you what, guys, that is it for this one. But we're not going to have to wait too long for the next one, are they? We've got another instalment coming between Christmas and New Year when you're stuffed with mince pies, lager, brandy, whatever it is, and you just fancy a break from all that. We've got another one coming in the next few weeks, haven't we, mate? So for now, have a fantastic Christmas, and we will catch up with you all very soon.
See you in a couple of weeks, guys.